Little River has not been dredged since the early 1980s, over 30 years. We want to try to do something to boost the local economy with the project, but more importantly, it's a public safety issue. The Little Creek Fire Department wants to utilize this river to run rescue missions out into the Delaware Bay, and we want to dredge it so they can get in and out at any tide. Right now it's unnavigable in several locations, shoaled in the channel is, so we want to deepen it to a 5-foot deep mean low water channel so vessels can get in and out very quickly on any tide. It's actually a federally authorized channel. Corps of Engineers is ultimately responsible for dredging the waterway, but they haven't dredged it since the 1970s because they just don't have any funding to do it. There used to be a thriving fisheries community here. Obviously you don't see anything here right now, but we're hoping that with the dredging that will come back, plus when Fish and Wildlife, the Division of Fish and Wildlife constructs their boat ramp just downstream here in the next couple of years, we think that'll draw some more users or boaters to the area and also help some of these other businesses that have closed up to reopen. But it's not just the dredging, it's the removal of 30 derelict piling as well as a derelict boat, which you can see a portion of down there on the marsh. That's all coming out as part of this project as well. The price tag for this project is approximately $1,010,000, state funded, bond built. The project basically, the entire length is about 2.5 miles from the bridge here, Route 9 and Little Creek out into the Delaware Bay. The channel will be dredged, as I said, to a -5 feet mean low water depth throughout. Within the confines of the river, it's going to be 40 feet wide and 60 feet wide once they get into the Delaware Bay portion. Those are the federal dimensions for the channel, and we have to stick with those because those are the ones that are authorized by Congress. Approximately 79,000 cubic yards will be dredged from the waterway as part of this project. We're going to be placing it all in one of our Fish and Wildlife impoundments on the Little Creek Wildlife Area, and it's going to be designed to beneficially enhance one of the waterfowl impoundments out there to improve habitat for waterfowl.
Primarily, this is a habitat restoration project. So what we need to do is think about how can we restore the refuge pond. The primary issues with the refuge pond is it's drain limited. It can't fully drain or manage the water adequately because of subsidence. Subsidence is a natural thing that occurs. It's when a marsh system, over time, the elevations decrease instead of increasing. So what we have out here, we have this nice area that is essentially, it's about 110 acres and 40 to 50% of it is 6 inches too deep. So it's kind of that combination between raising the elevation so we can manage the water properly and at the same time allows us to grow the vegetation we like to see, and we're going to get more use out of this impoundment over time. The variety of shorebirds will benefit from this. And then as far as this impoundment goes, this impoundment is one of the few impoundments that I've seen in this state that gets a large concentration of green-winged teal and blue-winged teal. That's one of the primary species. Also, you get a lot of black ducks out here that utilize this area. And a black duck for the Atlantic coast, the populations aren't as high as we'd like them to be, so that would benefit it as well. And this is a great spot to see pintail in the winter. It's pretty simple. The way it works is you have the dredge, which is in Little River, and the dredge, what it does, it has a cutter head, and it makes a slurry. So essentially, what I say, chocolate milk. It's water with the sediment in it. That is pumped through a pipeline, and that pipeline is a little over a mile long. It's about 1.2 miles, 1.3 miles. And what happens is that pipeline goes into the impoundment and discharges into the impoundment, and that water travels to the lowest spot, and as you can see, it's starting to fill up right behind me. And as that water raises, those sediments, there no longer has that velocity that keeps the sediments suspended in the water, and those sediments will drop out and slowly raise this impoundment. I would consider this kind of maybe more of a pilot site for the state of Delaware. There's some other sites that have been done, but primarily what they are, they're this dredge disposal sites. But what we need to do and what we're thinking more in this state is how can we tie that together with a beneficial reuse, such as restoring an impoundment or restoring some dikes, or sometimes there's a lot of sand that is associated with the dredge material. How can we restore a beach? These are all things that we're looking at, and I'm just really fortunate that we got this project through, and the Fish and Wildlife is ecstatic to see that this thing is finally being restored. We're real excited about it.